Hello, 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 and welcome to today's episode of Her Version. This podcast is dedicated to sharing stories of struggle to triumph, a platform that allows individuals to tell their truth in order to inspire and uplift others. For those of you that are new to this podcast and like content like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you follow, like, and share. I am your host, Sabrina Victoria. Let's jump right in. Hello, and thank you for joining us today for this episode of Her Version. The Her Version platform is built on storytelling and the understanding that many times our greatest learning experiences come from learning or listening to other people's stories. Today, I am speaking with an amazing woman named Nadia. Nadia is the founder and principal career coach behind Beyond Discovery Coaching. She helps clients design and build happy and fulfilling careers. Through this work, she helps build your confidence, ensuring that you know what you want from your career and how to make it happen. Nadia is here to talk openly about her life, her challenges, and how her career now is impacting people all over the world. Welcome, lady.
Thank you so much for having me, Sabrina. Good to see you. Happy morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are broadcasting from, and just super wonderful to connect with you.
Yes, thank you, 100%. I am in South Florida.
So beautiful, sunshiny weather. Where I'm in Ohio, where it was 9 degrees this morning.
What's funny about that is over the weekend, I think it got down to maybe 40. Hadn't checked the weather, and we were going to like a mountain bike race thing with some friends to help support. And, it was chilly, but in Florida, usually it might be chilly in the morning because the sun isn't out. And then before you know it, it's 80 degrees. Well, it didn't happen. It literally was 40 the entire day. So we're in some strange town, like an hour south from us. So we have to navigate, like go through all the traffic to like get out of this place, find the closest Walmart, bought a bunch of sweatshirts and sweatpants for everybody from Walmart, so that we could stay warm. But yeah, 30 or 40 degrees for us was like freezing.
Yes, yeah, it's a Florida chili.
Yeah.
It has some legitimacy. I just spent 3 weeks in Florida for the holidays, and we had a couple of nights where I go, oof, I got to put on my little jacket. It's getting a little chilly in here. And I said, oh my God, I've been in Florida too long.
Exactly. I remember living in Chicago, and when the temperature would raise to probably 40, we'd start walking around with t-shirts on. It's just so crazy. Yeah.
Wear
It's
some
so weird.
tea. That's 40 degrees.
Yeah. It's so funny how that happens. Anyways, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I so appreciate you taking some time out of your day to talk about your story, your journey, what you do, who you are, and introduce yourself to our community and kind of, the experiences that you've been through in your life to kind of help us navigate through our own crap that we're going through. So what I would love to do is just kind of open the floor to you and kind of, hear your story, your journey, the situations that, you've kind of been put through in your life that you're comfortable talking about, and then just kind of open up from there.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so
Cool.
much.
Yes.
Cool. Well, I am, as you pointed out, a career coach, and the type of coaching that I do is called holistic coaching. So I really work with clients holistically. So emotional health, mental health, spiritual health, and of course, physical health, and in the intersectionality of those things, not only in our work life, as we've learned over the past couple of years, but bringing work home with us, and having that commonality of living at home, working at home, raising children at home, all of the things at home, right? So it's been a really fun way to go about my own journey from a holistic perspective. Not only, like I said, as a career coach and someone in the more professional space, but also in the personal space as well. and really gaining clarity around the directionality of my career, as you pointed out, the impact and influence and connectivity that I have with those around me, and just getting way more in touch with myself. We always say that in counseling, in order to show up for others, you have to show up for yourself, and that is exceptionally true in coaching as well. So I had a pretty traditional um, childhood experience. Absolutely loved high school, which I know is like a weird thing. Went into college, absolutely loved college. I
Wow.
stayed at universities for my entire career. So in my full-time job, I'm a university professor, teaching, mentoring, and bringing up, if you will, the next generation of scholars and folks within the American system. And what's been really fun is being able to work with people in so many different stages of life. Even though I work at a university and we're quite traditional 18 to 22-year-olds, I work with straight white males. I work with BIPOC, LGBTQ women, just really across the board kind of intersectionality, between majors, between identities, between upbringings and journeys and stories. So it's been a really fun way. I think, doing coaching and connecting with other people has just really given my life a lot of purpose and direction in terms of kind of where I see myself going.
That's awesome. I love that. How long have you been working for a university?
Yeah, so I started university myself in 2002, and by that summer, I had my first college job. um,
Nice.
so yeah, I was the student who worked on campus all 4 years. I worked for the Disability Services Office, the Athletic Office, doing RA stuff, like literally all of the student leadershipy things that you can imagine. And then did a master's in higher ed administration from a Boston-based university, and graduated 2013. No, that's not right, 2011, and have been working full time as either a university administrator or a faculty member just a little over 10, 11 years now, which is a crazy thing to say because I'm 38 and I feel 22 still.
Believe me. Yeah, same. I'm 39 and same thing. I'm like, I feel like I hover right around 26. Like I like just
That's a
hover
good age.
around 26. Yeah, right? You're like old enough, you know some things. And your body's looking a little different. Now that I'm hitting my 40s, I'm finding myself like going like this a lot. I'm like, I just wanted to kind of go like this just a little, just like a little like this.
Yeah, right.
It's just funny how that happens. Well, that's awesome. So, one of the issues that, individuals who have hit their mid 30s have run into many times is failures, 1, 2, 10 failures, some point in your life. What's been your biggest failure and how did you deal with that?
Yeah, this is a great question. And if you are interviewing, you should be prepared for this question in your interviews. Yeah, failure is been such an instrumental part of my career, but also my personal life as well. Where every opportunity failure has presented itself, it really is within your reaction to it, right? I did a 5-year undergraduate degree, not because I knew what the heck I was doing, but because my original plan was to go to law school. And so I did, a 3-year undergraduate degree with the intentionality of then going into law school. I did a study abroad in between my 3rd and 4th year to Athens, Greece. And I was that kid who totally picked their study abroad location because it was nice. And there were beaches and it was the summer and it was one of the easier classes for sure. But I have to admit, it changed the trajectory of my life, that I fell in love with internationalization. I fell in love with travel, pushing my boundaries, getting out of my comfort zone. And when I came back to campus that fall semester, realized, yeah, I don't think this lawyer thing going into law school was really for me.
Wow.
I did complete my degree in law and then did a second undergraduate major in sociology. So the other side of the pendulum in terms of interconnecting with people. And then that really led me to having an amazing academic advisor, study abroad advisor, so the folks that had the biggest influence on me. And then I did a master's in higher ed administration. So what I always kind of advocate to folks is failure is inevitable. It should be part of your journey because it shows that you're pushing yourself. It shows that you're getting comfortable being uncomfortable. And how you take that on, and how you pivot, how you bring that on board, how you use that as an information source to say, you know what, I think I need to take a beat here and really think about what's happening, right? Is this really the trajectory I want? Is this really bringing me joy? Is this really fulfilling my excitement and engagement about what's happening in my life right now? And don't see it as a negative. I tell my clients, my students all the time, if you apply to 10 jobs and you get 10 interviews and you get 10 offers, that's great. But also build in some failure, right? Push yourself to the unimaginable, push yourself into that level where you're going to get some reach opportunities, right? Because when we reach is when we grow.
100%. Can you expand a little bit on the word pivot for those that maybe don't understand what that means?
Sure, sure. So pivoting for some people looks quite drastic, right? For others, like myself, it is very small baby steps, shall we say, into something new or even adjacent. So my own career, my own personal life, for example, I work a full-time job in academia, teaching professionalism and the job search and empowerment within the job search, and basically how to help people get jobs. In my private business, I career coach people on how to get jobs. So not a huge pivot, right? Very similar functional area skill set, very similar task orientation. Where the difference lies is in doing fun stuff like this, right? Getting to connect with people on a more humanistic level, getting to work with people that don't fit my primary demographic in my full-time job, and getting to play in the possibilities. We love that expression in coaching because when you play in the possibilities, that's where innovation usually thrives. That's where the unexpected usually manifests. And so pivoting for some, it is a full-on change of life. For most of us, we are not comfortable with that level of risk, right? I'm not going to quit my, $200,000 job to become an artist who I may or may not sell my art, right? For some of us, that's scary. We got mortgages, we have kids, we have bills, right? But for many of us, there are ways that we can make small little pivots towards things that, over the long haul or more of a longer term, vision, really are quite instrumental in moving us in a direction that we feel most comfortable with pace and timing.
100%. I agree with that. Now, speaking of failures, and the industry that you're in, what are some areas in which you're seeing people failing as far as finding the right career for themselves?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you said it right there, the right career. I really am a huge advocate that you create what right means to you.
Ah, I like that.
So I talk a lot about building and designing a career versus let me give you this personality test or let me give you this vocation test that says, hey, you're very judgmental, you're a good reader, you're a good, speaker, and you're very interested in argumentation. You know what? You should become a lawyer, right? Where those are skills and extroversion is part of your personality or introversion is part of your personality. It is a part of you, but it does not define you, right? So having the opportunity to be more intentional with how you are designing your life, how you're designing your career, how you're building it, the people that you surround yourself with, the education that you put in front of you. And I don't mean fancy $100,000 4-year education. I mean the things that you Google on YouTube, right? Just the people you connect with. Right now, I'm learning about city planning. I have no idea what the hell city planning is, but it's super fun and I really enjoy it. And like, how do cities become towns or villages and all these different things, right? I'm not moving into that. But for me, as a lifelong learner, it's super fun, super exciting, and I really love that. I think from a career perspective, doing more of what you love and defining the things that constitute good work for you. For some people, showing up to work, collecting a paycheck, that's good work for them. That is fulfilling the needs of what they require in that moment, right then, right now.
Mhm.
When I was in college, sitting at the front desk from, midnight to 8 in the morning in my residence hall, for $6 an hour, which at that time was good money. That's what I needed, right? That was good work for me. I could study, I could work on my homework, I could watch DVDs. Again, I'm dating myself here, but yeah, it was what work meant to me at the time, right? As I've evolved and aged, but mostly evolved in my career, of what brings me joy, what excites me, and what engages me. My definition of what good work means for me has changed, and thus finding the right career is really more so about, if I don't like something that's happening in my career, or I like something that is happening in my career, how can I be more aware and more intentional of nurturing that, creating that, designing that, and ultimately executing that within my career. So, failing in this respect is having this very narrow definition of what success means to you. And if you fail at achieving that success, making a certain amount of money, having a certain job title, getting perfect grades or whatever, it really does not give yourself the opportunity to play in the possibilities, to say, hey, you know what, I am good at all of these things, but what are other options that I can look at beyond Captain Obvious, right?
Of course, yeah, of course. I love that you're still, even at this point, dabbling in other things, and I think that that is something that all of us could really learn from, because you never know what it could pivot into in the future. So that's so interesting. What made you look into cities, building cities? Like, what even did you watch a
Oh my
Netflix
gosh.
a
Yes.
Netflix show that kind of what made you do that so
So
off the wall?
yes, this is where my nerdism comes out. I watch a ton of YouTube videos, and I am by no means sponsored by YouTube. I would happily take their money, but I am not. And I found a guy on YouTube called City Planner Plays, and he is a real bona fide, real life city planner. I think he's up in Wisconsin, and there's a city building game that you can get for PC called City Skylines, and it's just this total creative ride where you get to create cities and have some real life connectivity between municipality work and city planning, and how people react to things within the game. So it's definitely a simulation game. It's been on the market for some time, but it has huge traction, and there's a lot of YouTubers who just jump on Twitch and other things and play these games. So one night flipping through, I'm like, oh, what's this PC game? Let me give it a look here. And then when I found out he was a real city planner, he treats it almost kind of like a master class of saying, hey, I'm doing this because
Wow.
this would happen in the real world, or I'm doing this because it's a game and it's fun, and this would never happen in the real world, right? Like, we could never use, eminent domain to take away someone's driveway to put in this beautiful bike path. That would never get politically approved in America, but it's
Yeah.
so fun to conceptualize what that looks like in the game. So, I'm sure people have more chill hobbies, like, just vegging out on Netflix, or, doing more healthy hobbies like yoga and working out. For me, yeah, learning about city planning is cool.
That's awesome. I love that. That's so interesting. And I learned something new because I didn't even know there was games like that. So I have a 17-year-old son and he plays Fortnite. That's it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Just Fortnite for hours. So in my world, it's just there's not a whole lot of anything else. So that's interesting. I love that there's such a wide variety with that.